Good evening, Trey. This is Ryan with TrendLizard.com. Thanks for the email. You had requested a video on Facebook, FB, Meta Platforms, its new name. We'll take a look at this guy. We've definitely looked at it before, and it has obviously made a very large statement recently. Tanked, I think it was like a 26% loss on the day post earnings, and obviously that's going to have a big impact. So pretty good time to take a look at it. So the labeling that we have discussed to this point has been a 5-wave advance, followed by an ABC pullback, and then off the 2020 low, what looked like the start of a larger 5-wave move. That is not what has happened. Facebook moved below 290 here before it absolutely crapped the bed and tanked here to make, obviously, whatever this up move is complete. So this is not the case, despite the 3-wave look of this B wave and what looked like an ABC overall. This is not what's happening based on what has taken place more recently. So we have to reassess this action here off the 2018 low. And this is the labeling that we discussed as what would be the most likely Elliott Wave labeling if we had such a failure in a move below 290. Hard to like it as much, but nevertheless, what we're seeing here tells us that this is really the only logical option, and that just has that 5-wave advance, quicker ABC pullback, and then a first funky second wave, third, fourth, fifth, and then the tank job since this 5-wave advance has already completed to the upside. So the bigger question now, after the absolute destruction that's happened on this guy off the 2021 high, is whether this pullback here is just a correction of this 5-wave advance, or if this pullback is a even larger correction, which opens the door for an even larger pullback. So that's going to be the goal from here. So let's go ahead and zoom in on just this 5-wave advance. There it is. Okay, so off the 2018 low. Again, a first wave up, real funky running. Second wave is really the only way we can make sense of it because we know the trend is up, so it has to be a 5-wave move. So that's our first and second. Third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, obviously, when that completed. Gave us a sharp down move, and then some back and forth action. So I think the last time we looked at this, it was pretty clear that it wasn't going to go higher, and we knew that if it moved below 290, it would portend a larger pullback. It did move below 290, bounced up, and then absolutely crashed from there. Now the problem is that this pullback off of the 2021 high has already retraced a pretty substantial portion of this entire 5-wave advance. It happened quickly, but it's nearly already retraced 61.8% of this entire 5-wave advance. If it moves much lower, you have to start wondering if this pullback isn't more than just a correction of this 5-wave advance, and again, is probably correcting everything that we've seen from Facebook since its inception about 10 years ago, or let's take a look. Yeah, back in 2012, almost exactly 10 years ago. That would be the consideration. So if it continues much lower, you have to think it's a larger pullback, and we'll take a look at the ramifications of that. So here's a look at the pullback itself. Pretty nice 5-wave move down, and then we have some counter trend action, which fits as a B wave, and then we have a decline off of December's high, which looks like that C wave, but it doesn't look over yet from what we're seeing. We have this first down wave, second wave bounce. The third wave is the absolutely huge breakdown that's taken place at the start of February. So there's no good sign, no reason to say, oh, this looks like it's over yet. It could just give us a bounce, a quick down leg, and then be over, but it's hard to make a case right now that a low is into this move. Seems like lower levels are coming. Ironically, the key level that really needs to be broken to really give us a good idea that the low is over, or that a low is in, and that this pullback is an ABC move that's over, is a move above that same level, 290. That's obviously a long ways away, but it's the line in the sand that you have to keep an eye on. Again, it's pretty obvious. A, B, C at this point. If you have that snap back up through 290, this will be left as an ABC move. That would have to be seen as a bullish event. Obviously, that's far away. The other thing we'd want to see, as always, is some trendy upside movement off of any low. It doesn't seem like this one's going to be it. It seems like we will get additional weakness, at least based on looking for a completed pattern to the downside. But we'd have to see some type of trendy upside action to suggest that a low is in. So if we take a look at just the most recent action, basically this action off of the low, you can see there's nothing happening here that suggests that we're at a low. This looks more like counter trend movement. Nothing obviously trendy about it. Point being, unless we're just absolutely taking a guess, there's just no reason to think a low is in. The downside pattern looks incomplete. And again, we're not getting any upside action that suggests otherwise. So I think you need to expect additional weakness. It's possible that it's getting closer to a low because of this large ABC pullback. But if it moves below 220 in any substantial way, again, you have to start wondering if an even bigger high is in. Something like this, I mean, we have this 5-wave advance, but just because Facebook was incepted in 2012 doesn't mean this is the very start of a nice, first wave of a larger time frame. This could be the start of wave 3, 4, and 5. And if that was the case, obviously a much larger correction would be going at that point. So if it moves below 220 in any substantial way, the point is we'd have to think that it's correcting everything that's gone to the upside since its inception, and that would open up a pullback all the way down to this area here, or at least all the way down to 160. So that's the stuff we have to look out for. If it moves below 220 in any substantial way, this is a larger degree move. I don't know that you'd want to touch it in that point. You're correcting 10 years of advancing movement, and that would be a concern. But if it can stabilize, give us some trendy upside movement, get above 290, then you have a more bullish case to make. It's just not yet. So we need to see what happens with Meta, FB, Facebook, whatever you want to call it, and go from there. For now, be cautious. So hope that's helpful, Trey. Have a wonderful evening and a great week ahead. We'll talk to you soon.